What's up? It's your boy Enigma, and thank you for coming back to Mind of a Black Author podcast. Today we're going to talk about my book, Not Like Us. Most specifically, we're going to talk about one of the main characters of the book, and that is the middle guy shown here. His name is Caleb Webb Williams. Okay? So just to kind of give you a background on the character, Caleb used to run the streets. He used to be a drug dealer along with his brother, JP. But Caleb eventually got out of the game looking for something better. He got tired of all the stress and looking behind his back and such like that. He's an intelligent guy. He's into cryptocurrency. The book kind of starts around 2010 before Bitcoin actually hits. And he's basically working his 9 to 5 when his brother calls him out of retirement because he's been arrested and he needs somebody to run his drug crew. So Caleb is reluctant at first, but does. And after a bumpy start, he basically gets things in order. By the time his brother gets out of jail, Caleb has turned their drug profits into millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and he splits it with his brother. But Caleb, he always has this dream to become a billionaire. And in comes Avi, who I'll have a separate video about. And Avi is a multi-billionaire that allows Caleb to chase his dream. Now, Caleb doesn't really understand exactly what it takes to become a billionaire. So I mentioned this on my initial video. In Billions, Bobby Axelrod, who was the main character on that show, says in order to become a billionaire, you have to be a monster. And so he doesn't realize what he has to do in order to achieve that type of wealth. And Avi is kind of his mentor that kind of drives him towards that. And he's a good guy initially, but the problem with him is it shows when we're blind and we're chasing something, especially something monetary or within power, that it can blind us and it can strip the humanity from us. And as the tale goes on, there's a lot of changes that goes through on his character. One of my favorite traits about him is he's willing to take the extra chance and the extra risk, but, you know, he reminds me, so his character gets to spend a lot more of the time that I'm trying to reach in this book. And what I'm referring to is a lot of the stories I took out of the news, such as the P. Diddy situation, Epstein Island, the white parties and such. And I wanted to take you behind the scenes in this book so you can kind of see what those things are like. And part of it is Caleb, he's similar to me as far as how I would react into these certain situations. Now, he doesn't make the same decisions I would make, but he has those same reactions when he's at the white party, seeing things that normal people like us would never see, when he's at this Epstein Island type eyes wide shut situation, seeing some things that only the rich and powerful get to see. And then what he has to sacrifice in order to become a billionaire or achieve his goal of becoming a billionaire. I mean, there's a lot of things that goes on with him. And I think he's probably the character that has the most change throughout the novel, because he starts at a place here, but then to get his goal, he basically has a story arc that kind of changes him into a whole nother person. So by the time you get to the final chapters of the book, you probably won't really recognize him. You're going to be like, wow, he's really changed his mind, because he's not being driven by his intellect anymore. He's being driven by his greed for power and money. And he allows himself to be manipulated in several times. So he gets an opportunity with Avi because Avi needs a black face basically on his board in order to pull off this real estate purchase. And so that's how he meets Avi, and the two form a relationship, whereas Avi is kind of his mentor. And the way he runs into Swan here, Swan is a social media influencer. And at the beginning, like the very beginning, first chapter of the book, what you're reading is actually the beginning of the end. And Swan is a part of that. But then it goes back, takes a little time shift. And basically we get a background of the character. So you forget about her for a minute and you will see how their relationship evolves as well once he does meet her. but he is the driving force behind the entire storyline. You know, all he's ever wanted was to really use his intellect to make money. And now that he has money, what's the one thing that billionaires do or millionaires do when you have money? Like if you had $300 million, you probably be fine. I mean, if I had $300 million, I'd be fine too. You know, it wouldn't be much, but we say that, but somehow when people get that type of money, the thing they want is more. They want more money, more power, and that's the struggle that Caleb goes through throughout this story. He loses himself in order to get what he's seeking. So, very interesting. And again, I don't want to give too much away, but this is the book right here, Not Like Us. It's due out on January 31st. You can pre-order Kindle right now. It will be available in paperback and hardcover. If you want to get more information on this story and any of my other stories, you can check me out at www.enigmakid.com. That's www.enigmakid.com. It's your boy Enigma. I was just kind of doing a quick short one to introduce Caleb. Look forward to the next character. Deuces.